Yeah, for the last 15 or so years, what's been going on with this, like what's happening right now in baseball has been brewing, right? So the owners have been getting everything that they've wanted in the CBA. The CBA expires every 5 years. You have to renegotiate. And over the last 15 or plus years, the players have taken some concessions out of goodwill to try to get the ball rolling, get the season going. Maybe that, the next CBA they're going to get something. The next CBA, well, we haven't done it. And the times are changing. Revenue is growing. As much as MLB wants to tell you that they're not making money, that they are making a ton of money, right? The revenue, I think, is pushing $11 billion.
Lots of money.
That they have made. And the narrative that they're trying to push right now, that they're not making money and that the last 5 years has been tough for them financially, is not really great. That's not true, to be honest. I don't call them liars, but they're lying. And so what the players are doing now is they're dug in. They put their feet, they've stand their ground. They say, we're not giving in. We're unified. They are all on the same page. They're all pulling the same side of the rope. And that turns into disagreements, which turns into a lockout. But the lockout is imposed by the owners in MLB. It's their decision to impose the lockouts, their decision to postpone the season. It's their decision to cancel the games. And the narrative that a lot of the media people are trying to portray is that the owners and MLB have negotiated in goodwill, how they're disappointed for the fans. They have the fans in mind, and they're trying to turn it on the players and make it seem like the players are the ones that are making the decision to not play. Where in reality, it's the other way around. You can go read articles. Jeff Passan has a bunch of articles out right now on ESPN that do a really good job of kind of portraying in layman terms what the issues are. There's a lot of issues. There's minimum salaries are an issue. Collective bargain, the luxury tax is an issue. The pool of money for arbitration eligible players is an issue. All of these different things are issues that the players have been fighting for years, and now we're not giving in, and we're trying to hold our ground. And the owners come out and say they gave us a one last ditch final offer, best offer, and now they're going back and saying that they didn't say it was the final offer that they're offering us, because if they do that, what's the word, Lloyd? I said?
Alignment.
Nope, no, not alignment. What's the legal term that we were talking about before?
Impasse.
An impasse. Because legally,
I'm here, boys.
Legally, it would be an impasse if they said this was the final, best and final offer that they are going to offer. And if the players did not accept that, they would have to the owners could legally say, okay, we're going to say, no, there has to be a season, and we're going to say this is the deal, we're going to go. The players would file suit and say the owners are illegally doing this based off of negotiating and not good faith, and they would get put in front of a judge, and it would become in court. So they're not saying that. They're saying that it was their final offer, best and final offer, before they have to start canceling games, right? So this is a little bit of word jungle, I don't even know.
Sounds like lawyers.
Word gymnastics is really what they're trying to do right now, right? They're trying to, legally make sure that they're in the right. But what they're also trying to do is saying, hey, this is what they offered. The players went home the night before. They went home Sunday night. Players and the owners negotiated up until 2:30 in the morning on Sunday, early Monday morning. They come back. They come back and they reconvene. They say, oh, the deal's imminent. You hear all these things coming out from the MLB, the deal's imminent, made a lot of strides, a lot of progress. Well, on the other side of it, you're hearing from the players, there has been a little bit of progress made, and there has been a lot more dialogue at the negotiating table, but we're still far ways away from where we need to be. There's a lot of big issues that need to be ironed out, and it's not a guarantee that there's going to be a deal done. So you could see different sides, right? You can see both sides jockeying for position of the narrative that they're trying to push. The next day happens, and they come out, and now the owners are saying, well, the players had a change of heart, and now they don't want to agree and they don't want to agree to what we had talked about the night before, when in reality, that's not the case. So, leads us to yesterday at 5 o'clock when they come up with the last and final offer. They don't budge on any of the money that they were talking about budging on. They didn't move the luxury tax up. They didn't move any of the player money pool up. And the player said, screw it, we're out. We're not doing this anymore. So this is a much needed thing. It's a much needed standstill. It sucks for everybody. It sucks for me. It sucks for you. It sucks for you. It sucks for everybody that's involved in baseball. It sucks for you because as a fan. It sucks for everybody that's involved with Major League Baseball. It's a fan of Major League Baseball. It's something that's necessary, and it's something that we need to figure out how to make this thing work. I'm trying to be not politically correct, but I'm not trying to get too riled up. I'm going to open up the floor to you guys if you have any questions about what's going on, because for me, it hits home for me because my job's on the line. I don't have a job right now because MLB can't play, but I also understand that what Major League Baseball is doing, what the Players Union is doing, is the right thing to do. So it's, we're in a position now where it's going to be a lot of media talking about one side, and the other side coming out and saying something else. MLB Network had the press conference from the Players Union and cut it off the press conference mid-press conference. Didn't even let Tony Clark finish what he was saying. He was talking, but the coverage of the press conference on MLB Network just went away. And that's obviously because they're owned by MLB. And, that's...
the narrative was
They're going to push their own personal narrative, right? So...
What do you think you were going to be doing this time last year? Like, you knew that this deal was impending, right? Like, y'all knew that the CBA was up.
What was I doing?
Yeah, like, where did you think that you would be this time, like, next year?
This was something that we all thought was going to happen. Especially how negotiations went in 2020 during COVID, whenever OG COVID hit and we all left and we all went home and everything happened. Like, those negotiations for those 3 months, like, we knew the CBA was coming up. We knew that there was already a bunch of issues, and that instead of building goodwill towards this, that just put us further apart. So we knew coming in this offseason that this was a very, very high possibility that this was going to happen, and here we are.
Probably just always thought, though, because of the amount of money that's being made in the game today,
yep,
in professional sports today, that something would just be would be done before having to cancel games and stuff like that.
Well,
to see it not happening lets you know kind of where this thing is right now, which is pretty sad to say.
No doubt.
Because it shouldn't be this day.
And here's the deal, though. So Rob Manfred comes out and says that he's trying to do this for the fans, right? He's disappointed for the fans. The minute this thing started on December 2nd, this was, quote, a defensive lockout, which means that they were battling. They felt like, they had put some fair offers on the table. Well, he says this, and he says that he's trying to do everything he can in his power to get the game going. Lockout starts on December 2nd. We send them a proposal. 43 days later, we get a response. That doesn't sound like that's...
Just put it like this. Just think of it this way. If I'm running a business and I know that the deal I need to make with my main money makers in my business, literally, if I don't have them, I don't have the business, right?
Right.
The deal I need to make with them is expired. It needs to be renewed, and they send over a proposal, and I say for a month and a half, I'm not even looking at it. That's fine, right? But you're just telling me right then and there, you're making money elsewhere,
right,
which is great. Right? So if you're making a lot more money elsewhere because of the money that's being brought in baseball, and you're not worried about this large sum of baseball, money that much, why are you squeezing every penny out?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Why aren't you trying to make this thing right? Especially knowing over the past couple, you've won those big, and that's fine that you won those big.
Right.
But if I'm going to keep getting in bed with someone and keep having to do having to make deals with them, at some point it's like, hey, I got over. All right, I can throw you a bone. But they won't do that.
They won't do it.
And that's the frustrating part of where this thing is right now, because it doesn't need to be.
So go ahead.
Did you ever expect Major League Baseball and the owners to throw you a bone? Because every time I've seen any negotiation, I'm obviously not very smart, but this is whenever you see negotiations between players and ownership, whether it be the NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, it's never, hey, we'll get you later. We'll catch you later.
Well, I guess my point to it is like the general consensus of the thought of it's millionaires versus billionaires and they arguing over money. It's not that.
That's
man.
a tired take.
That's not a real
yeah.
take. That's not understanding what's really going on in the game, you know? And that's the problem.
And a big part of it, economics is a big reason why there's a disagreement, and there's a big reason why there's a separation.
I just remember to put the bets in.
Oh,
yeah, that's the only time you ever see me line up. It's like,
that was a quick jab for the phone. Like, what were you doing? You got a bet? I thought you had another guy giving you text messages.
No, I can check and see though. But I'm riding with our guy.
No. But part of another big part of it, right? Outside of the economics, that's obviously a major reason. The players are trying. We are trying to create a more competitive league.
Do what's right for the game.
Exactly. We're trying to create a league where everybody is trying to win and forcing teams to try to win. Because if they don't, they're going to get penalized in their draft. They're not going to just tank for the number one pick. You're not guaranteed the number one pick. They're trying to add a draft lottery like the NBA, which that has obviously made too much sense for the owners to buck that system. So they're trying to do things like that to be able to make everybody have the same goal of trying to get and be competitive and win the game and grow the game of baseball.
Right.
That's what we're trying to do outside of just having the economics. Now, MLB wants us to add playoff games. Oh, we want to add 14 teams in the playoffs. Well, that's not going to make them try to win. That's just going to give the teams that are 15 games under 500 that should make the playoffs in the playoffs, and that just gives them more money.
It's not going to do anything.
No, that's not going to create. That's not going to create the game.
No.
And I didn't want to start this because we have a guest in here who is my friend, and I know that he's got. I don't want to put him in the middle of this drama.
I've got some opinions.
Okay, let me hear them.
So my biggest issue, I think, is what this is going to do for the future of the game. It's already a game that's slowing down in terms of popularity. We're already at a point where it's very difficult to get people's attention for long spans of time, and it's a slow game as it is, which I know they're trying to do stuff to speed it up, but this is the worst thing we could possibly do is wait even more time between the season starting and just like everything is going to end up, we're missing out on the time to try to regain attention from the young fans. Yeah. And the longer that goes, I mean, that's going to hurt. I mean, I think the owners would understand that. The problem is you have one side that's dependent upon a season to make money.
Yeah.
Where the other side, like they didn't become owners because of the baseball team.
Right.
They became owners for something else.
Right.
And they're making other money.
Right.
So they don't need a baseball season. And that's the problem.
Right.
100%. And Jeff Passan, I've referenced him earlier, he had a quote in one of his articles, and he said that if you take out all 1,200 baseball players, right, and you say, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to replace those 1,200 with the next best 1,200 baseball players, the game would severely suffer. Major League Baseball would not be the same game if you said we're going to just replace those guys with the guys who are just a tick below them, right? He also says if you take all 30 business owners of the teams and you replace them with other competent business owners, the game would be in the same place or probably better off than it is now. Which goes to show you that the game is, yes, the owners own the teams and they create the business part of it, but the players are what makes baseball go. And the players have been treated as a commodity for a long, long time, which obviously every athlete and every organization is treated that way, where they can get traded, cut, released. They're an employee of a bigger company. But we're not an employee selling a product. We are the product.
Right.
The player is the product.
It really is.
And so if
the
product suffers, the company's not going to be as successful.
People don't understand, like, hey, the game's going on, but people aren't showing up as entertaining as it may be at every level of baseball. People aren't showing up for the between innings entertainment. It's funny, it's good, there's good stuff going on, but like you don't go there saying, man, I just can't wait to see the superstars today.
Right. The superstars.